So you can imagine the size of the Thai banks. If we really want to do that, then we have to have a bigger market cap.
So on a sustainable basis, you're taking the follow the customer route. And over time, some of the agenda will become regional. For example, in payments, how do you build a regional payments network for the Thai banks and so on? Now, again, looking at the 5 agenda that you have as chairman of the Banking Association, the other common theme there is what I would call the democratization of financial services, making it more widely available, going closer to the customer and letting the customer decide how you do business with them, and collaborating in such a way that there are no boundaries, there's no area in areas like payments where it's dominated by the banks. Let me ask you this. In the area of digitalization, how afraid are you of the role of non-banks, and especially the new payment companies and the telcos, and the kind of role that they've created for themselves in payments, which may be such that the Thai banks have been a little bit slow?
Personally, I believe that change is good. Change, competitiveness, change create the environments that would create more competition. Competition is good for the better service. And when change is inevitable, because the technology is there, change is inevitable. I always believe that the best way to manage the change is you lead the change. Okay. If someone else lead the change, you have more pain.
You sound very philosophical, which means that you've probably lost that battle. So now,
meaning we reduce the costs of the operating cost of the banks, and at the same time we can pass certain benefit back to the consumers. Right now, Thailand is a very cash society. Cash represents more than 2-3% of the deposit, which is very expensive, right? And also the very check-oriented society, which is also very expensive. So if we can change the operating models that rely more on the digital, being card or being all the digital instruments, then reducing the cash would help the bank to save the
Okay.
the
Now,
cost.
everybody has that agenda. The telcos want to reduce cash. The new payment players want to reduce cash and so on. 7-Eleven provides that service and so on. Now, however, the banking industry's approach has always been a very proprietary approach. It's like we create structures, we create rules, we create standards, which closes off the non-banks from participating as far as possible, right? Now, tell us a little bit about the debate that takes place in the banking community to become more open.
Well, I would say, personally, I would say that what you just explained, what you just described, happened because people don't see the pictures at the end.
The win-win story.
The win-win pictures. If we see it, I think it will make it easier for everyone to embrace the change. And again, I always believe that change is inevitable.
Okay.
So the best way to manage change is you lead the change.
Okay.
So if you lead the change, you can lead the change to your directions.
Yes. Give us examples of how, maybe as an association or even as a bank, TMB, you can see yourself leading the change.
Well, what we are doing, first, we have the 5 years plan. This is the first time that we have the 5 years plan. And the 5 years plan for the Thai Banking Association will start from identifying all the external factor that is coming. So we can see clearly it's coming. It could be the threat if we are not prepared. It could be opportunity if we lead the change ourselves.
But individual banks are working with technology players, with trying to do their own little innovations, right? Now, do the banks actually think that that's a differentiator that gives them a difference in the competition with other banks?